Accountant is directed by Gavin O'Connor and stars Ben Affleck, J.K. Simmons, Anna Kendrick, John Lithgow, John Bernthal, and Jeffrey Tambor, and is about a man who is a savant who's very good with numbers, and he uses a small CPA as a client in order to use it as a cover for him to do illegal activity. Now, I've been looking forward to this movie for a while now because based on the trailers alone, it got me really curious because it seemed like Ben Affleck was playing this kind of guy who is similar to what Matt Damon's character from Good Will Hunting was like, where he's really good with numbers and everything. And it also looked like it was that crossed a little bit with Hitman, the video game, because when I was looking at the previews for this movie, it kind of looked like it was an unofficial adaptation of the Hitman game series that I really grew up and played. And the movie deals with Ben Affleck as a guy who, growing up, he was a kid who is not really good with like socializing with people, and he's really good with like getting into different tasks and thing. He's basically the equivalent of Rain Man, where he can be good at like doing certain tasks, but if you take that task away from him, he starts to lose his edge, and he feels like it's not complete. So that's what the whole movie is about, where this movie, as the movie goes along, you start to see that he's building up these illegal criminal activities for this organization, for this robotics company, and where he's trying to get millions of dollars invested. And at the same time, you also have J.K. Simmons' character, who hires a treasury agent a federal agent to go to investigate Ben Affleck's character's activity, and you start to basically see two different movies following. And I gotta tell you right now, like, this movie really did get me surprised. I really did love this movie. This is one of those kind of movies that, from the trailers alone, it kind of makes you think that it's more of an action film, but really it is more of a character study, because you start to see that in the first hour, you're starting to see of what this guy can do and how really smart he is even though he kind of is not really socialized, he doesn't really socialize with people, and he is kind of he's more of a savant. He is very good at what he does, and he's the equivalent, he takes his job into a lot of different ways with calculating all these different numbers and things. And what I also love, what I really loved is the performances, especially Ben Affleck. I thought this is one of his. I've always enjoyed Ben Affleck as an actor, and so this movie didn't surprise me. But he is very nuanced in this role, and he captures every moment on screen, and he's very unpredictable no matter in every scene that you see him in. Because this is a guy who, you're not really seeing Ben Affleck, you're seeing the character that he really gets involved with, and you start to see a lot of the different tasks that this character, Christian Wolf, goes through, especially when he's coming up with the different ways of calculating the numbers. Like, there's really a scene where he literally spends about like a whole day trying to come up with all these ways of trying to count how much money this client of his is trying to invest, I think. And the movie spends a whole lot of time seeing of what kind of dangerous things that Ben Affleck's character can go through, because we start to see in certain scenes, in later scenes, that he's shooting this big freaking sniper rifle that you saw in the previews. And when he shoots that sniper rifle, man, the sound effects are really, they make the theater shake. I also enjoy the performances of J.K. Simmons too. I've always liked the guy as an actor, especially in the Spider-Man movies, and here he is kind of like it's kind of like an early Commissioner Gordon role, because this is the first time this is the first movie that I've seen where you get to see both Ben Affleck and J.K. Simmons together, and they'll later be a part of the Justice League in the future. So in this one, you can kind of get a glimpse of what J.K. Simmons will look like in Justice League, because he's wearing like the fedora hat, and he's wearing the suit and tie and everything. I thought he did a really great job, and I also enjoyed Anna Kendrick's character. Now, I'm not really too big of a fan of Anna Kendrick, but I like her as an actress, and I thought she was enjoyable. You know, I thought her and Ben Affleck had good chemistry together. I thought that she brought more of the like humorous side to the movie, where they have some like small moments where they're kind of laughing, and she's kind of telling him talking to him about different paintings and things, and I thought that worked pretty well. And you can tell that there's a lot of parts in the movie where even though Ben Affleck knows that things are going to go wrong, he still cares enough for her to not get hurt. And so the movie deals with him trying to get away with all this illegal financial activity. At the same time, you have these other guys that are going after Ben Affleck and trying to stop him and trying to kill him and the people that he's actually trying to get the money off of. So the movie is kind of confusing at first when I was watching it, but as it went along, I started to get into what was happening and what was involved with the story. And what I really loved is you start to see flashbacks involving Ben Affleck's character, where he grew up into learning different skills of how to fight, and also how trying to do all these different tasks. Like he's really good at puzzle making, and the action scenes are really well done too. Especially a lot of the shootouts that take place. Like you can the sound editing is really great. Especially when you hear the gunshots go off, it feels really authentic. And the fight scenes I thought were really amazing. This is the kind of fight scenes that I saw in like Jack Reacher, where they're kind of doing an Indonesian kind of martial arts, and I thought it was pretty cool seeing Ben Affleck doing those kind of arts. It's basically the equivalent of Bruce Wayne fighting people in his off time. So that was really great, and I also enjoyed the fact that the movie is more of a character study than it is an action film, even though it was a little off-putting at first, but I got used to it as it went along. And I also really enjoyed the music too, or the score. I don't know who did the score, but the score is very good. You know, it has a lot of different like emotional themes that happen, emotional music that plays throughout that really captures the moments. Now this is one of those films that I could talk more about, but it's really more of just your straightforward movie. You know, it is kind of convoluted in some parts, but it doesn't do it to a point where you're just completely lost and everything's around. It does what it is as far as being very entertaining. If you like really great shootouts and great character moments with, you know, seeing a lot of mathematicians doing their work, kind of like off of A Beautiful Mind, then you'll really like this movie. Now, my only real cons I have with the movie is I thought the pacing could have took a little bit more to pick up in some parts, and I thought that they do kind of underuse John Bernthal in this movie, even though, because I've become a big fan of him, and seeing him in the trailers, he kind of looked like he's kind of like the ultimate badass in the movie, and they do build up a lot with this guy, but it's just they kind of underuse a lot of parts of him where him and his men are going after these different clients, and they don't really spend a whole lot of time with them. So that did kind of throw me off, and I really did enjoy his performance, and I thought that I really want to see more of this guy into different movies and TV shows. Now, I haven't seen the Daredevil TV series, but I know that he's played Punisher off of that show, so I'll definitely give that show a watch when I get the chance to. But anyway, yeah, I could go into more detail about this movie, but I really don't have much to talk about. But I do highly recommend it, though. I'm going to give the movie 8 out of 10. What did you guys think of The Accountant? Comment below, and if you guys like what you see here, you can check out more of my videos here on YouTube, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next review. I'll see you later.